Hi, I'm Gray. Welcome to my channel. Today, this video is going to be about the sacred space, or casting a circle. The sacred space is widely debated amongst the pagan community, especially amongst pagans, witches, and Wiccans, back and forth, and everything in between as well. Excuse me. This is going to be more towards casting circles, but let's take a moment and talk about what a sacred space can or is, in a sense. A sacred space can be anything from going out to the woods to your favorite place in the woods, sitting down, meditating, or just being one with Earth, where you feel more connected. That can be a sacred space. Or in a more higher, I guess you can say more of a ritualistic type of way, a sacred space could be a full-on casted circle for ritual. That could be a sacred space as well. But the most common sacred spaces that you probably come across if you're a practitioner, especially of the craft, a sacred space could be basically your altar, like mine back there, right here. That could be considered a sacred space. I know a lot of people, and then we're gonna go back and we're gonna go into the sacred space. What is it for you? For me, sacred space is a space where I can go and feel more, I cannot say enlightened, but I feel more connected to spirit and the divine. I know, me personally, I don't believe you can create sacred space, for the earth is already sacred, and I just don't believe casting a circle to create a sacred space is the proper way of doing it. But there's other, I'm going to touch up on that in other videos, because I do believe this is going to be a teaching where I'd rather everyone know about it than just be biased towards one direction. So I'm going to use a couple videos in a series about sacred space, mostly towards casting circles, and I'm going to teach you different ways how to cast circles or create that sacred space. And again, for me, that creating a sacred space, I don't really do it outside, for again, I believe that the earth is already sacred. You don't need to create a sacred space outside. But indoors and inside, since it's an environment outside of nature, I am more lenient towards casting circles or creating sacred space inside. Excuse me, sorry. But, gotta catch my train of thought. So I'm gonna show you a couple basic ways of doing it inside. Especially more towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you a basic way, not exactly how I personally do it, because how I personally do it is my own craft, and I'm never going to do anything how I personally do it on video. It's going to be a little bit tweaked, in a sense, how I traditionally learned it, and then how I developed it myself. Because if I tell you every single thing I learned and how I do it, I don't want people to follow it and be all like, oh, he said do this, do that, and do that, it's going to go completely wrong, it's all his fault. I personally believe that if you want to learn something, learn it and then develop it for your own. Take it, change it all up, do whatever it is. It's your craft is your craft. Like, your sacred space is going to be your sacred space. You can create it however you want. It's your sacred space. Or if you're outside, it's also Mother Earth's sacred space, and it's a borrowed space. But we're not getting much into that. So casting circles is different amongst all pagans, like your fingerprint. Casting a circle is going to be so different for anyone else. And I know a lot of witches that do not cast circles, especially a lot of traditional witches I know. They opt not to cast a circle. And when they do, I think that they specifically call it laying a compass. I'll touch into that in another video. Laying a compass is so difficult to do, especially for me. I've done it once or twice. I didn't personally feel like it's for me, because I feel like it was ripping a hole between here and the other world, and it's a lot harder to close that way, and I'm not too aggressive with my craft. I'm not like, oh, I want this now, bam, 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 bam. I'm very, let's take it easy and slow and steady and work with spirits around me that are already there, especially more with nature. And then I know Wiccans, they cast a circle, and what they do is they cleanse the space, then they draw the circle, then they summon the power, or they call upon the powers of the four directions, and they invoke the goddess and the god. And I know some very basic witches, I'm not going to say, oh, basic witches, sorry, derogatory term, but I know other witches that just basically just cast a circle of power. And that's kind of what I'm going to teach you today, is a very basic form of casting circle of power. And it's going to be geared more towards nature, because I'm a very nature-oriented person. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of ways you can create sacred space, or create a power circle, another name for it, or laying a compass. There's so many different ways out there. Like you said, it's just like your fingerprint. Creating a sacred space is your own personal craft. There is no right or wrong way to do it. So let's get into it. What I did, I took 6 objects from my room. If you were to do this outside, I would take 6 objects from nature and cleanse them before you use them in your circle of power. So for instance, if you take a rock and you are going to use it for your circle of power, I would say something along the lines of, "O creature of rock, I cleanse and purify you in the names of the Mother Goddess and Father God to aid in my magical working." And after that, you visualize all negative energy just separating from that rock and filling it with light. And then you can use it for your circle of power. For this, since I already had these in my room, and they're all cleansed and stuff like that, I just basically laid them out. And this is basically a format you can use, basically minimum of 4 you can use for each of the corners. You can use 12, or you can make a whole continuous line of rocks, flowers, things you find pretty in nature. But this is, or you can basically use twine, candles. This is a basic circle of power. And I'm going to cast it now for you, demonstration. I don't use this personally myself. I have a more of a different way of doing it. I use my it's a combination of a blasting rod, a wand, and a staff. I use this to cast circles and direct energies. I'm not going to use this now. For using objects to cast your circle is going to be more of a complex thing. And the candle went out, but you get a general idea of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to visualize, if you do a circle, visualize, if you ever done, visualize a blue light or white light, any colored light, going towards the object. Let that blue light engulf that object. And then, like drawing a line on a piece of paper, draw a line on the floor, ground, or wherever you are, and connect it to the next object. And then keep doing that, letting it fill that blue light that's going through you, from the universe, through you, into the object. And then you go on to the next object. And then you keep doing that over and over again until you complete your circle. So once your circle is, once you drew your circle out of all the objects, you connect them all together, It helps to say like an incantation or a prayer in this case. Um, like you can use something along the lines. By the powers of light and love, my circle of power is now cast. As I will it, so shall it be. And the circle of power is casted. And now you're in your own power bubble. It also really helps when you're casting a circle or a circle of power to visualize a protective barrier. Feel protected when you're connecting it. Feel like you're putting up a wall. Not from everything, but from negativity, so you don't get hurt. So this is this is my safe bubble. I am a bubble I am in a bubble that is protected from negative energies and harm that come my way. So I am in a bubble, etheric bubble, of course, an energy bubble that is protecting me. And by saying that incantation or that prayer, I have made it official and grounded it. And to undo it, just basically do it in reverse to open it up. Sometimes I use a besom. Besoms are good for brushing away etheric energy, but basically by doing this, making it simple, I just work backwards. And when you're doing this, when you're working backwards, visualize the blue light that you drew on the floor coming back into your body and back into the universe. And then when you're done opening your circle of power, say something along the lines like, I thank all the energies and spirits that assisted with me, and I thank all the spirits and energies that assisted with me today. Stay if you will, go if you must. Farewell and blessed be. That's one way to put it. And there you go, there you have it. Thank you for watching my video. Like, subscribe, feel free to critique and leave comments. Stay tuned for more videos. Farewell, blessed be, and may good fortune smile and